Happy bunnies.
What a bunny.
Really noses. Okay, so this is the next step in trying to resolve the electrical gremlin I've got on my motorbike. Take a step back. We've got this little Gammatronics light here, which monitors the status of the battery, both whilst the bike's stationary as it is at the moment and also whilst it's running. For the last 3,000 or so miles, or maybe even more, it's been flashing amber when I've been riding, meaning that there's something not right with my charging circuit. We've also had the fuel pump overheat a couple of times now, and this model GS is known for potential weak fuel pumps. So next step is to replace the fuel pump.
A bit more background, if I may.
Go for it.
The first time it happened was when we were off-roading in Salisbury Plains on a very hot day.
Yep.
And your motorbike just died, and it kept running intermittently. So even whilst riding, it just suddenly cut out and kept going. And it started after about half an hour cooling down, and then we filled it up with fuel, and it worked flawlessly. And then was it on the way to Wales once? Again, after a long period of riding, it cut out once.
Yeah.
And again we filled it up with fuel, and it worked fine after that. And now on the Alps trip, we were riding through congestion in Nice for quite a long time, and then it cut out on the way up a hill. And again, it started after about 5 minutes, and we put fuel in it, and it had no problems.
Yeah. And on that last occasion, it had next to no fuel in it.
Yeah. So every time the symptoms have occurred when the bike has been low on fuel, and it's been cured by pausing and putting more fuel in. And the further you've gone, usually with less fuel in the tank, the more the light has been playing up.
Yep.
However, lately the light has become even more erratic.
Yeah, it's come on to blinking amber instead of just solid amber,
Yeah.
which is the next stage on in the degradation.
Hold on, let's wait a minute, let's back up. We fixed the fuel pump, but things still didn't fix itself. So, Kaz went out and she tightened the Gammatronics indicator. She checked the voltage with the GS911, and we heard that the plug under the seat for the ECU might be a little bit faulty. So she gave that a wriggle, and since then it's worked fine. So what can we learn from this? Well, yeah, check the basics first, and don't over-analyze things to the end of time. I should stress though that the fuel pump needed replacing, so all that's perfectly good. Anyway, back to the timeline. Yeah, and when we first discovered this, we replaced the fuel filter because we thought that it might be clogged up and therefore the fuel pump has to work hard. But the next guess is that the fuel pump motor actually might have been damaged due to overheating several times.
Oh yeah, we've also, as part of this, I've also changed my stator, so I know it's not the stator, and I've currently got your regulator on my bike, so we know it's not the regulator.
Yeah, so the bike is charging fine, and we've checked it with the GS911. There are no fault codes that would indicate to anything that has got to do with the fuel pump or the charging circuit. The only fault codes we've found on the bike have been fault codes that has told the computer that there's been excess draw of current and therefore it has shut off the heated grips. So the bike has noticed that there's been too much draw of current. So this all points to that there is something drawing too much power, and the only thing we can think of that draws too much power when it's low on fuel and cures by putting fuel in is the fuel pump.
Also in the Alps, it was better at the top of mountain passes,
In the cold
and
weather.
it was worse down in the valleys.
Yeah, so cold weather better, hot weather worse.
And it's not so erratic in the UK.
No. So we've got a new pump. And the pump motor itself is nothing more than a little motor like that. The kit comes with hose and some other things like
Strainer.
Jubilee clips and things like that. So we're going to change that, and hopefully that will cure it once and for all.
I could have picked up a really cheap pump off eBay for about 26, 27 quid. But instead I decided to splash out and go for a full kit or set with a lifetime warranty on the pump.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even worth the paper it's written on. Hopefully I'll never find out. And that was about double the price, but it's still a heck of a lot cheaper than the full assembly from BMW, because BMW only sell it as the full kit, so pump, fuel lever gauge, strainer,
The whole thing.
everything, the whole shebang.
And what's the price of the BMW bit?
I didn't get a quote, but from what I found from Google, it appears to be about 550 quid.
And this one was
52.
about 10%. So worth.
It's worth a gamble.
Yeah. Anyway, enough waffling. This is not Belgium.
Okay.
A word of warning. The fuel level can be higher than the pump assembly, so you need to have a low fuel level in the tank when doing this operation. This seal is really difficult to get right. We have removed this pump a few times and we have never managed to get the seal in properly on the first try. Take your time and do the best you can. If the seal is really badly fitted and you fill the tank with fuel, you will have fuel all over the forecourt on the fuel station. So make sure you get it right. This time we almost got it right. The video clip is sped up quite a lot. It took us over 7 minutes to get the pump in. We thought we had done a good job, but we still had a small leak. This was with us even trying, what you'll see later in the video. And if you have a better way of doing this, please post it down in the comments, because I'm sure there will be a lot of people who will appreciate this. So let me explain what's going on here. First, we're putting the bike on the side and we are checking for leaks. Once we're happy there are no leaks with it lying down, we're lifting it up to check again if there's leaks. And once we're happy there's no leaks, we'll lift it back up, start the bike, and then finally we're checking it with the GS911 to see that everything is okay, such as fuel pressure and voltage and...
Go on. Okay. Well, I'm currently really happy. The bike runs. We've changed the fuel pump, obviously. We've put the bike on its side to check the fuel pump seal. No fuel's come out. We then ran it up, so I started it up, ran it, monitored the battery voltage with the GS911. We fully loaded the system, heated grips on, main beams, and waited for the fan to come on. And at that point the battery the light just dipped to orange a little bit, but at idle. As soon as we applied some revs, got it up to say 2000 RPM, it went green again, and other than that it's been solid green. So really pleased.
Yeah, so everything seems to be working fine. Seems to have cured the problem. So obviously we need to monitor it and ride a lot more. But it seems that this might be the fix that we've been hoping for.
Yep.
So all good. All good.
Happy bunnies.
Bunny.
Really noses.
Long ears. Coyotes.
Coyotes, thanks.
Right.
And on that note, dinner time.
Bye. Do April with this.
Hmm?
Bye. Bye.